Hey again, welcome back to another episode of the Life at the Lake Campus podcast. My name is Josh Ricker. I've been interviewing a range of students here asking about their experiences at the Lake Campus, and today I have Olivia Goecke. Olivia is from Spencerville. She's a fourth year ISS major with her minor in psychology. So, Olivia, thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, before we get into a couple of the questions I've been meaning to ask you, I just wanted to see if you could give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself first.
Like Josh said, I'm a ISS major, but I'm looking into going into physical therapy school. I've actually already got in, so that's exciting news. I work at Salina Manor, which I work as a therapy tech, so I sort of got an introduction already into physical therapy. But yeah, super excited about the future, and have always enjoyed the Lake campus.
So, how did you get into Salina Manor? You talking about that kind of just sparked this in my head, but is there anything that you do there that really is kind of tied into the schoolwork you've been doing now?
It wasn't through school that I got into Salina Manor. I basically just did a bunch of research on what's best on the application for physical therapy for physical therapy school, and just started applying to all these rehab facilities. And they got back within a week when I applied, and I got in there, and I couldn't be more thankful for that group of people.
So, what was it then that when you started here at Lake Campus, what drove you to be an ISS major? Was there anything specific like in high school that really interested you in sciences, or how did that kind of come about?
Yes, I've always been into the science. ISS is a wonderful program that like encompasses all of the sciences. You're getting organic chem, physics, more of the environmental science, and also like anatomy. So it encompasses all spectrums, no matter if you want to continue school or just go straight into the workforce.
So you just talked about a couple of classes that I always hear students like freak out about with the OChem, physics, anatomy. Those are the classes that they're always like, "Oh my gosh, these are so hard." So how'd you navigate those? Like, do you have any tips for handling those types of classes, or was there anything in particular that either somebody or some group of people kind of helped you out with to get through those?
Yeah, it is sort of a heavier caseload and more difficult, but luckily the staff here at Wright State Lake is wonderful with, being attentive to your needs. If you ever need help, don't be afraid to ask. They're always there for you. And also, I've developed a little group of friends, and we've sort of gone through this journey together and developed together. So, yeah, it's just been a good journey, and I know they're difficult classes, but we got through them.
Say you're right on the edge. You got like a little bit over a month to till graduation. So, kind of moving in from there. Then I know just I don't know a week or two ago, maybe in class, you told me that you got accepted into PT school. So first off, congrats. That's awesome. But could you maybe tell some people what that process is like? How do you end up applying? Is there like an interview process? Just what's that gauntlet?
About a year ago, I started this whole process, and it's basically you go onto a website called PTCAS, and it's a portal for other schools to look at, for the physical therapy schools to look at, and you submit your application and choose the schools that you would be interested in going to. And then once you submit that application, they'll look it over and either ask you for an interview. That's the goal. They ask for an interview, and then from there they decide if you've got in or not. So, yeah, it's sort of a lengthy process, but worth it.
What was the interview like? Was it virtual? Was it in person? Was it like an hour, a day? What's the PT interview process?
Yeah, So for my school, the interview process was virtually, no stress. I thought I was gonna get on there and be in front of like a panel of people. It was just one lady, and she was super sweet and broke the ice. And yeah, it wasn't bad. It was around an hour long, but yeah.
Was there anything in particular when you were looking at schools that drove you to Indiana Wesleyan?
I'm very involved in my church. I actually play flute in my church, and Indiana Wesleyan is very faith-based. And I just wanted to go somewhere where I could express myself too.
All right, so this is part of why I love doing these podcasts. Like I learned so many different things about people. Like I had no idea you played the flute, so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool too. All right, so one thing I really wanted to have you on here for was because you have an experience that most students around here don't have, and again, it's something that kind of just snuck up on me. I didn't even know it was a thing that's happening, but you went on a really unique trip just within the last couple of weeks. So could you tell everybody what you did?
Yeah, I went to Belize as a study abroad program through Wright State Lake campus. It was a wonderful journey with a tight knit group of people that have been in my classes throughout my journey here at the lake. Yeah, it was crazy. We went and studied the different organisms within within coral ecosystems and the different organisms within rainforest. So yeah, it was really cool.
So how did you end up finding out about this? Because the way I found about it was students telling me that they were going, and then just hearing people in the hallways talking about trying to get last second travel plans together. So did you like ask a specific professor about it? Did they approach you? What was that like?
Yeah, I heard about it through the science club. I'm actually a pretty involved member in the science club, and our director for the club reached out to me and asked if I wanted to go, and I was like, yeah, of course. So yeah.
So this was done over spring break, right? So you guys were gone from like a Sunday to Sunday.
Yes.
And then how big was the group? It was only like a few students and like a couple of professors, right?
I think there was 9 of us, but 3 were professors and the rest were students.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then when you were there, you did like some science experiments, and then what's the final goal then with those experiments?
Yeah, so with those experiments, we brought back all of our data. Ours was the diversity within coral species, and we're going to present them at the symposium, which is basically we get a poster and put all the information that we've learned onto a poster, and then that can get published. So, yeah.
That's awesome. You guys are doing something like that. And for anybody who's listening who doesn't know, every year we have a research symposium here at campus. I think Melanie Marshall kind of spearheads the whole thing now, and Stephen Jackman, I think, helps out too. And we have just anybody and everybody who's on campus doing any type of research can present. So students will make a poster based on their research. Usually we fill Dickey Hall. And for I think it's like 2.5 hours, people can walk through and just see all of the different types of research that have been done here over the last year at Lake Campus. So I really enjoy it. It's a really cool way to see what other students are doing, and also I know I have students in my research lab that present what we've been doing all year. So it's a way to kind of showcase all your guys' hard work. So you mentioned Science Club, and I wanted to bring that up too. I know I always talk about Psychology Club with everything, and Science Club is a very similar organization. You guys are a student organization doing a bunch of work. What kind of things does the Science Club do?
Yeah, so the Science Club, we do a bunch of different activities. We go on camping, we do a highway cleanup, and do just a bunch of different things, get together and, hang out. It's just a way to sort of grow a social life on campus and meet different people.
All right, so this next question might be throwing it back on you a little bit now since you're in your final year, but when you were coming here out of high school, what were some of the biggest changes that you experienced, or some of maybe the biggest challenges that you had to go through?
Yeah, so I'm showing my age a little bit, but when I graduated high school, it was the beginning of COVID, and so I actually wasn't planning on going to the Lake campus, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I've grown so much here and met a plethora of different people that are just amazing. I love the small classes that the Lake has to offer. You really grow to know your professors and your different classmates through this journey.
So did you have any sort of like coping mechanisms or like people to lean on that kind of helped get through those challenges?
Yeah, of course. I have a wonderful family. All the students here are amazing. I've actually grown really close to 2 good friends that I'll have for the rest of my life. And yeah, they sort of helped me through the challenges that it originated through, COVID. And I actually got to meet them through my online classes. I sort of reached out and said, hey, we're in the same program. Let's be friends. And we've just grown from there.
So speaking of COVID then, what was it like starting off being like only virtual and online in that really strange time that we all really had to adjust to wrapping school, well, the first part of school up as like in a more traditional setting? Yeah,
so COVID was definitely crazy. for me, it was planning to go somewhere farther away, and then sort of throwing a wrench in those plans and saying, okay, let's go local, save money, and yeah, to come to the Lake campus. It was definitely a struggle at first. A lot of online classes, which were okay. They obviously don't have that face-to-face interaction, and sort of, getting a lot. It was a struggle for me because I would not accomplish things on time. You're not you're not with these people that empower you to be better people or to be a better person. And so, I got behind, but once we started getting to on-campus things and having class in person, I really prospered there.
Yeah, no, I honestly hated COVID too. Cause like I love coming in and actually talking, interacting with students. So like the first, I don't know, week or two, being able to teach virtually, it's like from my basement and then go upstairs and just already be home. It's like, oh, this is nice. But then it's like, okay, I'm tired of talking to a computer screen all the time. But we all made it through it, so that's a good thing. So finally, do you have any piece of advice for either students that might be coming in and kind of uncertain of what to expect in college, or like if there's advice you might have for people who are specifically going to take like an ISS path into PT school? Is there anything that you would want to tell them to kind of help them out?
Yeah, so if you're interested in physical therapy, the ISS major is a perfect choice for going into physical therapy school. It really shines through on your resume, and also make sure the PT CAS program. Make sure you're starting that sooner rather than later. I know for myself, I started a year before, and I should have started 2 years before. So yeah, get started early, and you shouldn't have any problems. So yeah.
All right. Well, Olivia, you made it through. That's all I have for you. So awesome job. That's everything we're going to have for today. If anybody has any recommendations for questions you'd like me to ask, or any specific students or faculty members that you want me to interview, shoot me an email that you see here on the screen, and I will talk to everybody in our next episode.